Hello, people. I hope you guys are doing excellent. I know I am. And so I have another video for you guys, just another quick discussion. Before I get started, make sure you guys attack the like button and let's get right into this, right? So this video is called Why I Give Girls the Ick. So I had a revelation recently when it comes to how girls perceive me. I'm sure you guys remember a video I put out recently where I was on Melly Monaco's show, where she's giving dating advice to people who call in and whatnot, and I was talking about being a 30-year-old virgin, how I became a 30-year-old virgin video. But the way I found Melly Monaco's channel, and I think I talked about this on that same video, was the Pineapple Show, which is where she brings on a young lady and guys call in and they basically try to shoot their shot. And, I've gone up there a couple times kind of as an experiment because I'm putting together like a compilation video of my appearances up there, right? For an upcoming episode of the Botcast where I'm going to go into deeper detail about, what I'm going to briefly discuss in this video. But one thing that stood out to me, and this is the beauty of this opportunity that I've had in terms of going on the Pineapple Show and seeing how girls respond to me. I've noticed what is probably my biggest weakness when it comes to girls. And I realized this after going up there a few times and seeing how girls respond to me. And it's that I give girls the ick. It's as clear as day. It's very obvious to me now that I absolutely give girls the ick. So what is the ick, you might be asking? And the ick is a term that's kind of become more popular over the course of recent time. I'll explain it real quick. Here's the definition that I found online. So the ick was first coined by Allie in the TV show Ally McBeal, and as dating expert Haley Quinn explains, it is a dating term that means you get a sudden cringe feeling when you have romantic contact with someone and become almost immediately put off by them. You might feel suddenly repulsed, put off, or cringed out by their behavior. So that's what the ick means, right? And so the wonderful thing about the Pineapple Show is that by going up there, it gave me the opportunity to kind of just fling my energy and my personality at random girls and see how they responded. And let me tell you, let me explain the concept of the Pineapple Show real quick. So again, guys go up there, try to shoot their shot at the girl, but if the girl doesn't like you, she'll pineapple you. And I notice I get pineappled quick, very fast, and which isn't unusual, but I think with me it's consistently a issue. Now part of it is because I get right to the point. I asked them, do you find me attractive? So I don't waste time asking like bullshit. Like a lot of guys go up there and they act and they do the normal guy thing of like trying to slowly ease their way, like basically asking 21 questions. I cut to the meat of it and I ask oftentimes directly, do you find me attractive? And this just quickly ends the interaction. I get pineapple very quickly after this. But what's more fascinating is that the last time I went up there, right, it was a girl who was the type when she's up there, because some girls, they don't like the pineapple guys because it's kind of, it's like, you're rejecting a guy up front. And some girls, they just feel bad about that. So they'll give you a chance. And so that's the type of girl that I was dealing with this time. And so pretty much every guy that tried to talk to her, she kind of gave them a chance a little bit. When I came up, it was like pineapple, like after just a few words, right? Like, hello, you know how I do. And that was it. I was going, and I've been up there several times now, and I'm kind of just putting the pieces together. And I'm realizing that, man, I really give girls the ick. So what is it about my personality that gives girls the ick? And I think it's rather simple, really. And it's that girls perceive me as being goofy. Now, what is goofy? So the definition of goofy is foolish or harmlessly eccentric. And you know, when you go on the Pineapple Show, it's a live stream, so the people watching it, they're commenting in the chat the whole time. And so I would go back and I would watch my interaction with the girls, but I would look at the chat too and see what they would say. And that's like the most common way they would describe me: goofy, 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 goofy. And that's when I was like, aha! So that's what it is. I could, and of course, it could be other things going on as well, but I think that is the biggest turnoff about my personality that is happening with girls, is that they perceive me as being goofy. And so realizing this, and I'm not really surprised. You know, again, it's just that, you know, the fact that I've never really put my hat into the dating race, I don't have the opportunity to have these experiences to get this kind of feedback. And so I'm not really surprised. It's just that, you know, this is my first time getting like real data about how girls respond to me. And so it's like, it makes sense because, you know, when you really sit down and think about it, yeah, girls generally don't like goofy, silly acting guys. And you guys know me, anyone who's followed my channel for quite a while, you know that I have kind of a goofy person. I mean, let's be honest, you know. And so realizing this, you would say, okay, well, Marco, stop being goofy. No. and here's why. And so this is where we kind of get a little bit deeper into like why my personality is the way that it is. And I think the thing about it, you got to realize, because even I admit, I can see why I come across as being goofy or eccentric to people. Like, that doesn't surprise me. But why is it that, for example, with you guys, like you guys like me. You like my content, you follow me on social media, you follow me on YouTube, you like my music, this and that. But I'm the same guy, because I'm sure you guys can see where I'm coming from when I talk about like my goofy side. I'm sure you guys can see that as well. But why is it that you guys don't care? Why do you fuck with me even though I have like this goofy aspect to my personality? And I think it's that it's kind of like it's that same sort of appeal that anime characters have. You guys know characters like Goku, Naruto, Luffy. You know, it's very common in anime where the protagonist character has like a goofy type, weird, kind of off-putting personality. You know, especially I think Goku is like the perfect example of this, right? Where on the surface and in a lot of like situations, like he's like awkward in a way. Like he doesn't get certain basic things and like social etiquette, right? But at the same time, he's a very likable, endearing character. But why do we like these characters? Why do we like Naruto and guys? Why do we like Joseph? Joseph Joestar is another one from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You know, he kind of has like that goofy, silly personality. Why do we like these guys? It's because despite the fact that they have these weird, quirky personalities, they are able to get the job done. There are other layers to their personality and their character with like there are deeper layers to them as a human being that kind of balances out the whole. So again, going back to Goku, okay, Goku on the surface is again goofy, silly, kind of silly and seemingly foolish, but the fact is at the same time, he's the best fighter that they have on planet Earth in terms of defending the Earth. Because even though he has a goofy personality, he's also extremely determined and focused and committed to being the best martial artist that he can be. So even when you have a character, like a no-nonsense character like Vegeta, he has no choice but to respect Goku. Because even though he might not understand or relate to his personality, and again, that personality wise, it's like oil and water. Vegeta is like that bad boy, right? What do we call it now? The abuse Chad? Like Vegeta is the abuse Chad. But he has to respect Goku because Goku is, let's face it, a better fighter than him. So Goku has carved out a niche for himself in the universe where he can succeed and thrive and gain respect from his peers. And it's the same thing with Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke have that same dynamic. Naruto is the goofball. Sasuke is the cool, moody, serious type that all the girls like. But Sasuke has no choice but to respect Naruto despite his goofy demeanor, because he's serious about trying to become Hokage. He's serious about trying to become the best ninja in the village. And it's similar with a lot of anime protagonists, that you see this same dynamic where despite their surface demeanor and behavior, underneath that, there's a strength, there's wisdom, there's insight, there's morals, there's character, there's integrity, there's honor to these guys. And that's why we like them. And I think, now, again, you know how people say, oh, he's literally me. Now, trying to compare myself to a goat, I get it. I'm not nearly as determined and focused, and but I'm sure even a lot of you guys would agree, when you take the goofy aspect of my personality and put it to the side, there's also people who come to my channel who do appreciate my wisdom and my insight. It's not unusual for people to call me wise, and I would agree with that, you know. And I think that another thing too, when you look at my commitment to making music, the time I've invested into making music, I have a skill set, I have a talent that I invested into to where people are impressed. Like, oh man, this guy, he makes some dope beats. I like his songs. I like his content. Oh yeah, he got the podcast, and you know, people see the other finer aspects of my character, the things I've overcome in my past, you know, the struggles I've been through to be in a position today where I'm a happy, motivated, positive person. Of course, I still have a lot of growing up to do. There's a lot of progress and things I need to do in order to become the man that I need to be. But you guys have seen step by steps the things that I've overcome, and like you've seen me get my first job and taught myself how to drive, and you know, heard the different stories about my life, and you know, things like that, the things I've been through and the things I've overcome. And I think that's why you guys respect me. Yes, you know, I'm sure that the goofy you know, fun aspect of my personality is funny and entertaining, but at the same time, it's the other side, it's the complete picture. You know, who I am as a man, who I am as a potential leader in the world. You know, the fact that you can respect my opinion on certain subjects, like, oh, I wonder what Chad Marco thinks about this. Let me go to, oh man, I can't wait to hear it. Like, that's what I have as well. And so I think that in a way I have that kind of anime protagonist personality, where on the surface, again, seemingly goofy, but there's other layers. There are deeper layers to who I am that kind of round me out as a whole. Now, going back to what I said earlier, Marco will just turn down the goofiness. No. Now, again, have any of you guys ever looked at me and said, I like Chad, but he's so goofy. No, right? That's never been the criticism or the aspect of my character that have been questioned. You know, I think if anything about my character that has been questioned, rightfully so, is that I'm not always focused and consistent in terms of what I need to do. I'm admittedly at times very lazy and tend to fall off track. You guys know how inconsistent I've been with being a content creator over these years. You know, I've become better in the past year or so, but you know, that's always been, like, if anything, like the standout personality flaw or character flaw that I've had, but I've been working on the whole time. Nobody from my friends to my family, for the most part, you fans, nobody has ever took issue with the goofy side of my personality. And even when it comes to when I interact with strangers, I notice that they find it endearing. Like, you know, normally I'm an introverted type of person that stays to himself, but you know, I have no issue with kind of coming out of my shell and interacting with people. And the same sort of energy you guys see here, that's what I project when I'm interacting with strangers in the world. And you know, throughout my life, I've always prioritized just being myself. Like I don't act this way to get a certain response. This is just how I am. This is just the behaviors or the behavior patterns or whatever you want to call it that just comes natural to me. And when over the years I've embraced it more and more, and I've noticed that, again, people find it endearing. They find it funny. Again, it might be goofy, but it's never been like an issue. But when you're talking about dealing with women and girls, it's a completely different thing. It's the world of dating is the only realm where I've found that my personality, my energy is problematic, because girls are looking for more like a specific set of traits when they're looking for a guy that they could date. And some guys would say, oh, girls like bad boys and this. And there's some truth to that. But I think one thing that is absolutely true is that girls don't like goofy guys. and like, you can say girls like this, girls like that. We can argue that up, but I'm sure we can, as the men coalition, right? We can come together and say, man, girls don't like goofy guys. And like I said in the chat, that's what I would get called more than anything else. But I think if the context was different, if it was a different type of show, unrelated to dating and whatnot, that probably wouldn't have been like the standout thing about me. But I think because the people watching know how much of a detriment or turn off goofy guys are to girls, that's why it's the constant, this guy, this goofy motherfucker, right? That's why it's the constant criticism that I would get when I would go on the show. Like, the brief 30 seconds I would last. Right? And so most guys in my situation, you see that and you say, okay, well, let me tweak my personality a bit. And that's fine. But I wouldn't do that. And see, and for me, it boils down to this. Like I said, one thing that's very important to me is for me to be true to who I am. That's to me, that's like number one rule. And you got to understand, the same way that we feel about these characters, like, again, the typical anime character like Goku, the same way we feel about these characters, that's how I feel about myself. We don't care that Goku is goofy. We don't care that Naruto, they're badasses. Fuck, who cares? That's how I feel about myself. I love myself to death. And so when I encounter people or situations where my personality doesn't mesh or they don't like it, I'm not going to say I'm offended, but it's like I don't want anything to do with that because I love this motherfucker. If look at it like this, right? If you had a little brother that you love this little nigga, you love that, you like, okay, he might be a little strange, whatever, but you love this motherfucker, and then somebody come in and say, man, fuck you, man, fuck, like, what? Oh, start talking shit about him. You'll get defensive because you accept him for who he is. Like, man, fuck you, that's my man, fuck you, get the fuck out. You're not gonna say, okay, yeah, like that, cause that's some bitch ass shit. In a way, my relationship with myself is like that. I love myself. I love my personality. I love my character. I love being me. I don't act goofy for people to laugh. Like, I'm not out trying to entertain people. It just feels good expressing who I am from the soul. It's immensely fulfilling. It really is. And I think that obviously people would look at how girls respond to me, and the obvious thing to do was, just tweet, tone it down, just whatever. But if I did that, I wouldn't be true to who I am. To me, it's like a betrayal of the self. It's like looking at your little brother that you love and you accept in your heart, but you care so much about what other people think that you say, well, just change this. No, fuck them. Be yourself. Right? That's what a good big brother was. Be you. Right? That's and maybe I fucked up because I took that to heart. People always say, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. But this is what I noticed. this is and this is the main point that I wanted to make. This is what people always say: be yourself. But then when it comes to getting women, when it comes to girls, that shit goes out the window for the most part. Like, really think about it. When you look at advice, when it comes to getting girls, right? There's a laundry list of do's and don'ts. Talk like this, don't talk like that. Walk like this, don't walk like this. You know, look this way, don't look. Dress like this, and don't wear graphic tees. Put your hair like that. Oh, not an earring in both ears. Put the earring over there. Oh, no, man. Don't look to the 90 degrees to the left. It's got to be 87, right? It's so many little specific things. Don't do this, don't do that. And look, the game is, I understand the game is the game. You know, the fact is you're competing with guys who are willing to adjust every little behavior according to what's going to get them the most amount of bitches. That's cool. You know, if it's that important to you to get bitches, I don't care, because everybody don't have the same value system. But I really internalize the idea of being true to oneself. And like I said, I like my personality. I'm comfortable with the goofiness because I also know that underneath that, there are those deeper layers of seriousness, of determination, of wisdom, of kindness, of gentleness, of strength. Like, I know, I see the full picture, and I love what I see. I love what I feel. And so if me being this way is a turnoff, if it gives girls the ick, so be it. So be it. Because in a way, I feel like it's the price that I have to pay for the immense fulfillment of being true to being true to myself. Just like that Earth, Wind, and Fire song. In one of them, it says, to be whole to your soul is liberty. And that's how I feel. It feels so good to just be true to who I am every step of the way, regardless of what people think. But still, you know, just real quick, I find this very funny. There was a dating coach. He's dead now, rest in peace. But you know, I kind of found him because he did a critique of one of Kent's videos, and I think his name was Player Supreme. Very wise older brother, but I always remember one thing he specifically said. He said he would always tell guys, stop watching anime, stop doing the anime shit, right? And now that I look back, it makes sense, because I can see now how. Now, I'm not gonna say like I molded my personality around like these anime characters, but I think in some way I found them immensely influential for me, because it gave me the confidence that I could be myself, as long as I also had the determination and the willpower to get the job done, to accomplish my goals. You know, it doesn't matter how silly and goofy you are, as long as you're committed to being the best, as long as you're committed to being the best that you can be. But that only goes so far. and when you're talking about dealing with women, you're talking about a completely different set of circumstances. Because again, it's just like what the title of the video, why I give girls the ick. Girls are very particular about the guys that they deal with. And when I look at girls in dating, to me, it just seems like women would disqualify a guy over like the smallest thing. You know what? I was just talking about the Pineapple Show, right? The girl the girl that was on the last episode that I was on, she was talking to one guy I was watching, and they were having a good conversation. She asked him, "What do you do?" And I forgot exactly what he said, but it was like, you know, just a regular kind of common, decent job, right? And she said pineapple. And Melly couldn't understand. She was like, what's the problem? And she said, I had a bad experience with somebody who had that job. Right? Like, like what? Like, they were having a good back and forth conversation, and it was just like, oh, his job happened to be like the job of someone that she ran into and had a bad experience with in this pineapple. You never see guys doing shit like this. Like, but I think for me, and I've asked this question before on 4chan, because these recent events had me thinking about it. And I think it really boils down to this, how do you reconcile being yourself, being true to who you are, with the fact that your core personality is, generally speaking, unattractive to women? Like that's a deep thought, because I think that as men, we normalize changing and adjusting our behaviors to suit women so much. And the thing that I always worry about that is, how much adjusting and changing do you do before you're not even who you really are anymore? I think it's a very good question to ask. How much are you willing to change about yourself just so you get a better response from girls? Is it worth? Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's not. But I know me personally, I'm committed. I'm committed to the death. If I gotta die a virgin with a dry ass dick, I am committed to being true to who I am. And it comes down to the simple fact that I don't have an issue with who I like. You guys, you see me, you hear me, but I feel me. I am me. And when you wonder why I'm so happy, it's because I love this motherfucker. I love like this energy. It's just like, and so I'm always choose that over anything else, because that's happiness. Why wouldn't you? But again, maybe I'm just different, so I'm not trying to say like, oh everybody just, don't be like me. don't be like, I think a lot of guys, they're not built for it or ready for it. But I hope you guys got something of value out of that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I am going to have a podcast coming up, not this month, but I think like next month, where I'm gonna like, I have the clips of my appearances on the Pineapple Show, and we're gonna go deeper into this topic. Like, we're gonna go clip by clip and look at how the girls responded to me, and it's gonna be a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see you around. And yeah, Johnny.